students, welcome back once again to another video. Since we have finished the work and energy chapter, we also did much of the work as the practice point of view, many numericals, and so we will be doing the revision for the last two chapters, that is gravitation as well as work and energy once again. So today we will start with gravitation, and the first topic that we studied for the gravitation was the force of gravity itself. Okay, gravitational force is a universal force. Okay, any two objects in the universe attract force on each other. So if one object is placed at a certain point and another object at a certain point, both of these objects apply a force of gravitation on each other, and the force of gravitation is always attractive. It is not repulsive like magnetic force or electrostatic force. It always attracts. It does not matter whether the object is metallic or non-metallic. Okay, like magnets. So today we will start with that point, the gravitational force, and the first point is universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation given by Isaac Newton. It stated that the force of gravitation between two objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses. So the force of gravitation is directly proportional to the product of the masses. It is mass of object 1 multiplied with mass of object 2. Two objects we have m1 and m2. But the force of gravitation also depends on the distance, such a way that inverse of the distance square. So the force of gravitation depends inversely to the square of the distance. So whatever the distance, you have to do it. So if the distance is more, then the force of gravity is less. If the distance is less, then the force of gravity is more. So if the two objects are kept close to, let's say, 10 centimeters apart, and two objects kept at a distance of 1 meter apart, okay, then the difference will be much more. Okay, so the force of gravitation will be less for the objects kept at a 100-meter distance, and the force of gravitation will be less for the object kept at a 1 meter distance or 10 centimeter distance. So 100 meters will be maximum difference and distance, and 10 meters or 1 meters will be less distance, and 10 centimeters will be the least distance. So the force of gravitation will be maximum for the least distance, then comes 1 meter distance, then comes 100 meters. So more the distance, less the gravitational force, and less the distance, more gravitational force. And that is why it is inversely proportional. Okay, we have to combine these two, and the final thing that we get is force of gravitation is directly proportional to the product of masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between these two masses. Square of distance between these two masses. I hope it is clear to you, students. So we are having the formula for the force of gravitation, but it is in the proportionality sign. That means it is in relation to. We still don't have the actual formula. So when you remove this proportionality sign, there is always a constant which balances the equation, and this is given by force is equal to G into m1 m2 upon d square, where G is gravitational constant. It is gravitational constant, and its value is constant throughout. Even in space, its value is 2, as well as on the surface of Earth. So the equation is balanced by gravitation constant. Its value remains constant throughout the universe, and that is why it is also known as universal gravitational constant. Its value does not change anywhere in the space, okay, as well as on the surface of Earth. And its value was found out by Henry Cavendish, and its value is given by G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, how do you find the unit for this particular constant? You keep the constant over here and take all the values on the other side of the equation and substitute the values of that physical quantity. So I want the value of G, that is gravitational constant. Value of unit force is Newton multiplied by distance square, that is meter square. So Newton into meter square, that I have written, and this mass 1 and mass becomes kilogram square, and that goes in the denominator cross multiplication. So over here we have just g left. So the value of gravitational constant is given by Newton meter square per kg square. Okay. Now this is how the beginning of the chapter was. Very simple. After that we studied about the acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity, how do you find it? Okay, and for that we are comparing this equation, that is this one, to the second law of motion. That was also Newton's law. Okay, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So what can be this acceleration? So we are comparing this universal law of gravitation, because the second law of motion also gives us the force. Okay, so we will be doing that. The force F is equal to m into A. Okay, this m is the mass of the object, and over here this capital M can be taken as mass of the earth, and this can be taken as small m, that is the mass of the object when we are on the surface of earth. That formula m1 and m2 is for the universal objects that can be taken for any two objects, but if we are on the surface of earth, then the force of gravitation can be taken as mass of the earth and mass of the object, and this distance can be taken as the radius of earth. Okay, that is why I am writing capital R. Now over here we know that this force is gravitation and this force is also gravitation, and we can find the acceleration with which the object is falling when it is free falling. Another term, free fall, that we studied. Okay, if it is falling and if the object is falling under the influence of gravitational force only, then it is known as free fall. So I will be comparing these two, so it becomes ma is equal to g into m into small m upon r square. This mass of the object and mass of the object is same. So what we are beginning over here, the acceleration A is equal to g into m upon r square, where m is the mass of earth. If you are getting confused, I'll write this m-e over here so it doesn't get confused. Okay, m-e. Okay, so gravitational constant into mass of earth into radius of earth. Now at this point you will see that gravitational constant, its value is this. Mass of the earth, its value is 6 into 10 raised to something kilograms, that is also constant. And radius of the earth, that is also constant. We cannot change the radius of earth, it is as it is. So all of these values over here are constant, which are not going to change for the surface of earth. And so the acceleration of the object when it is free falling is also not going to change. It's going to remain the same. As you can see over here, there is no mass of the object. So if the object is free falling, it does not depend on the mass of that object. So if a small pencil is falling, or if a heavier box is falling, pencil and a box, they both are going to be falling with the same acceleration. It is going to remain the same, and that is why we can write that this acceleration is happening because of gravity, and it is given a symbol small g, that is g into m of the earth, that is mass of earth, and radius of earth square. Okay, when we substitute these values and solve it, we get the value of acceleration due to gravity, which is g is equal to 9.8 meters per second square. Remember, this is still acceleration. So acceleration's unit, that is meter per second square, will remain this. Now we know that this is 9.8, but in many of the numericals when we are solving, this term is changed into 10 meters per second square, so that it is easier for us to solve the numerical. 9.8 is approximately taken as 10. It is almost 10, very close to 10. So for simplicity purpose, we are taking 10 meters per second square. Okay? I hope this much is clear to you, students. All of these values are very easy. Gravitational constant 6.67 × 10⁻11 given by Henry Cavendish. This is universal law of gravitation. F is proportional to m1 into m2 upon distance square. That it was given by Isaac Newton. And we are comparing this second law of motion to the gravitational law. Okay? Law of gravitation. So we are comparing the second law of motion to the law of gravitation, and finding the value of small g, that is 9.8 meters per second square. I hope it is clear to you students. Very simple. Moving on. Okay students, so we just did the revision for the gravitation chapter, and one thing that we have to know is the weight of an object on moon that will be compared to that of the earth. So in order to find the weight is actually the force with which the earth is pulling us. So if you remember, the second law of motion is given by force is equal to mass into acceleration. Now this force is the force of gravity with which the earth is pulling. So that is our weight. Remember, weight and mass are totally different. When we talk about what is your weight, we give it in kilograms. That is actually wrong. When I say that my weight is 60 kg, I am saying that it is my mass. It is not my weight. Okay? You don't have to tell that to everyone, but keep it in mind. Weight is actually the force. Force with which the gravity is pulling you. And for that, your mass is going to remain the same. That is, for me, if it is 60 kilograms, I am going to write it over here. So mass of the object is going to remain the same. Acceleration is taken as acceleration due to gravity over here. Okay? This is how you find the weight, and your answer will be in Newton because this is force, mass into acceleration. So your answer will be in Newtons. Always remember that. Now this is on the surface of Earth. We are taking acceleration on the surface of Earth, but we don't know what is the acceleration on the surface of Moon. Okay? Because the mass of the Moon is different and the radius of the Moon is different. So if you remember, when we talked about acceleration, it was gravitational constant, mass of Earth and radius of Earth. So if we are talking about acceleration on Moon, then it can be taken as g on Moon, that is gravitational constant, mass of Moon and radius of Moon. We have to take this into consideration. Okay? Now comparing the weight of an object on the surface of Earth to that on the surface of Moon. What is the difference? So we are writing weight of an object on Moon upon weight of an object on Earth. It is equal to, that is, mass into acceleration on Moon. Now mass of the object is not going to change. It is going to remain the same. So same over here, mass into acceleration on Earth. Substituting these values, what do we get over here is weight on Moon upon weight on Earth is equal to mass into the values that we have written, that is g into m upon r e square, mass of Moon and radius of Moon square upon mass into gravitational constant into mass of Earth upon radius of Earth square. Now the common value, that is mass of object and gravitational constant, these values are going to remain the same. Now all you have to do is substitute these values and it will be solved and you will get an approximate answer of 1 by 6. Okay, so ultimately what we can write? That the weight of an object on Moon is equal to, cross multiply this, so 1 by 6 into weight of an object on Earth. So this is how you find the weight of an object on Moon. You find the weight of an object on Earth and divide it by 6 or multiply it by 1 by 6 and you will get the answer. I hope it is clear to you students. Very simple. Now let us remember all the formulas for this particular chapter that we have to know. So the first one is force is equal to G into M upon B square. Okay? If it is on the surface of Earth, then I can write force on the surface of Earth is equal to M1, and after this is gravitational constant, it is not going to change. So mass of Earth, mass of object upon radius of Earth square. If the object is on the surface of Earth, then this is how we are supposed to find the force. Force on the surface of Earth is equal to gravitational constant into mass of Earth into mass of object upon radius of Earth. For finding the weight of an object, weight is equal to m into g. Okay? When the object is free falling. After that, where g is equal to 9.8 meters per Now remember, these points are for the first half only. The second half of the chapter, that is buoyant force and other Archimedes principle and everything, that is flotation part, that has been cancelled from the syllabus, and therefore we will only be focusing on this one. I hope this much is clear to you, students.